Hi, this is Zizi for alldayplay.fm. I think DJ culture is in a very interesting place right now because of everybody's access to equipment and also other people's sets and things like that. So we're kind of in a very unprecedented time where honestly, if you want to become a DJ, it's really easy. I think other people might see it as making it more competitive, but I see it more from a very abundant sort of perspective where there's always more content to be created, more sets and concepts to be brought to life. So why not have more people have access to it? I see a lot of people find a lot of satisfaction through producing their own creative projects, whether it's through events or mixes or just learning a new skill, and I think it's really beautiful. I play a lot of types of music. I not only blend a lot of genres together in maybe controversial ways, but I also play clubs while also playing ambient sets. I have to say that I do love all of it. I think that they are all very different. Playing a club set that is effective live is very different than playing an incredibly immersive ambient set. It takes a different skill set in terms of mixing, track selection, and even just the use of CDJs and records. I really do love all of it. I think I approach every type of set as just its own creative challenge. So I just go in it with the goal I'm trying to achieve, whether that's to get everyone dancing or whether it's to have kind of the effect of giving people an immersive, introspective experience. So I just approach it that way, and that's how I like playing everything and see it as a challenge, basically, yeah. Depending on the environment, I definitely prepare differently, but the basic principles are the same. I actually spend a lot of time visualizing the set that I'm playing and the space that I'm in. So, and I actually picked this up from before I started DJing, because sometimes I would talk to DJs who were about to play an event, and they would tell me that they would talk to the other people on the lineup and be like, what type of vibe are you going for? Have you played in this space before? And then I picked up that, that's a big part of playing a set. And so when I started playing, I think going to shows and seeing the space that you'll play in is really important. So, just to get the energy, see what type of people come and things like that. And of course, if I'm playing a completely different space that's more experimental, whether that's outdoors at a festival or in kind of a more makeshift studio space or art sort of gallery space, I think a lot of things need to be thought about, how big is the room? What is the sound system? Because I think it's really important, especially when you're playing things that are more ambient or immersive, or even club, honestly, the way that the sound, takes up space in the room is pretty crucial. And of course, that becomes even more interesting when you're playing outdoors because there's no wall to bounce sound off of. So I think a lot about nature and then the vastness of the setting that I'm in, and envision playing almost to fill up the whole forest or the whole space, which sounds kind of crazy, but is a way that I've approached sets previously. It really helps because I do like playing very spacey and big sounding ambient sets. So that has been a very fun way to kind of approach how I put together a set, yeah. Between an ambient set and a club set, the audience could be the actual same people. It could be the same person going to literally the club set last night and then now at the ambient set the next day. But I think it's the job of the DJ and the artists or the event organizers to basically set the tone and guide the person into whatever you want them to kind of take out of it. So I think when you go to a club, there's an a more expected, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna party, this is the vibe, we kind of all know what that is at this point. I think when you imagine, or when you're going to a more chill event that's more ambient or just less drums, basically, let's say, I think people go with something in their mind, but they're not sure. And I think that's what the interesting part is. So in a lot of the events that I've done before, I do a series called Ears of Moss, and another one called 思意, which is like an outdoor event on a farm. And for both of those, like I think a lot about how to guide the person into an experience, whether that's through like the way the room is set up, or just like how the sound system is set up. Or in the case of like an outdoor event, you know, like we would, at certain events, we would set up a lot of like journaling stations, or set out picnic blankets already. So, you know, you're kind of guiding people to just like literally lie down and just like chill out. I think that those are all sort of ways that, you know, as the event organizer and producer and also the artist, you kind of have to show people. Maybe the club event is a little bit more, you know, they're kind of, maybe they have other intentions, like just to go party and stuff like that. But I think that the job of the artist is always to show something new to someone. So, you know, I find that I end up attracting people who are curious, either about different types of music, or want to hear something they haven't heard before, or in the case of like, you know, a completely different type of ambient experimental event, they're wondering what this is, so they want to come and find out. So in my event series called 思意, we did 3 events over the past 3 months, and like throughout the summer. And the first 2 were music, like was the primary focus, where the event was set up so that the audience just is almost doing nothing else but listening to the music. The first one was like mostly based off of this graphic score that my sister / collaborator Angie wrote basically, but she wrote it so that it was incorporated with the sounds and the environment that we were in. So you would hear like the birds, but it was part of the score that she created, because it was a viola, double bass, and saxophone trio that she wrote. And they would basically play off of the environment sounds. So the audience was listening to the environment and the sets, right? The second event we did was focused on the sets by the DJs. So it was 3 DJs, and the sets, the whole point of the event was just to listen to them. And then the third one, this is the exact question that I had. I was like, you know, what if, you know, ambient music can be so many things. Like, what if I created an event where it was the background, but also it was happening simultaneously with each other? And what I mean by this is we basically had multiple sound stations or stages, but in a small space. So the sounds were like almost overlapping, which I know is like very controversial and like when you put together an event, but I was curious to see what would happen. And we even had a synth garden, is what we called it, in the middle, where a friend set up their synths and the people in the audience or like the attendees could go and play on them. So they were contributing to the soundscape basically. And we had some live sets, 1 guitar live set and 1 sitar live set. And we also had DJs. And then we also had this synth garden so all of the sounds were just like meshing together. And, you know, people would tell me that, you know, where they walked and stuff in the farm, they would have a different like sound experience. Yeah, so I think that I like to play around with the different ideas, and I think at the same time, like having an incredibly immersive, you know, ambience show is also like amazing as well. So, and that's what I've done before at Ears of Moss. It varies a lot, and I try and explore all of it at the same time, because it's an interesting concept, like the role of like ambient music as background music, but also as like the main focus. Yeah, and then at the club, whilst the music is like the main thing and, you know, everyone's like facing the DJs, if you really think about it, there's so many conversations being had and so many interactions. There's like exploring different rooms and like, you know, a lot of other things also happening at the same time. And I think we've all been to shows where everyone is like so in the music, there's like no talking and everyone's just dancing. And then we've also been to like ones where like it's actually nice to have a conversation while you have like house music in the background or something. So yeah, I also like love observing the social interactions of things, so it's very interesting to me. When I started DJing, I told myself I would do it only for fun, because I know that when you bring like your creativity and art into your life more prominently, there's always going to be these moments that you feel like you need to choose sometimes between like finances, money, or like art. And then I just didn't want to like lose the part of it that I feel like is important, which is it being a creative outlet for me. Also being able to build community from it. And those are like my key things that I always keep in mind. I feel very lucky that I can do it in this way. But yeah, that's my main thing. I played music growing up like a lot of other DJs. I played piano pretty intensely and actually stopped when I was like a rebellious teenager, and kind of like had space from like music in general for quite a long time until I started going to shows and started picking up like how DJing was like an art, basically. I lived in South Africa for a long time, and I especially was drawn to this collective called Slowdown. And they played a lot of deep house and dub house and things like that. I was seeing for the first time like a group of people who truly cared about the music and the craft and doing it for like the community. Yeah, and they were like my first true introduction to the scene. That's where I really got interested in it. I didn't actually end up playing anything for like another few years, but that is always where I will credit like my first interest to DJing, yes. The Bay. My community is here. That's where I built everything that I'm kind of involved in right now. I feel a lot of love and support. The radio stations in the Bay is where I got my start. I started playing on Fault Radio, Hyde FM, and got really close with the people at Sutro FM and everything like that. And that has been, you know, the supportive like beginning of my sort of DJ journey. I have made a lot of good friends through everything that I've been doing, and I just have to credit the Bay for being like the favorite place for sure. I think, especially coming out of COVID, these stations provide a physical space for people to meet and gather and find other people like them, and I think that is like first and foremost the most important thing. But then of course they're broadcasting their sets live on the internet, like that's like the whole point, right? Online radio. It gives people the start and like access even to just like equipment that I think is hard to come around. That is definitely how I basically learned everything, being able to play on radio stations. Like there are some radio people who will say it's like kind of like a thankless job because you do put a lot of effort into building that community and, you know, giving people opportunities and stuff like that. It's a lot of work. I work a little bit in the background as well on Fault Radio. So yeah, I see like how hard it is and like the challenges that come up financially and things like that. It's not an easy thing to sustain. So yeah, give more love to the radio stations for sure. As much as I'm a DJ, I'm also an event organizer. So I currently find a lot of inspiration from people who are like starting things and, you know, trying to get something going. You know, I mentioned the radio people already, but they are all very, very key, like Fault Radio, being in the new Studio Aurora space, incorporating food and everything into like the community has been like so amazing to see. I also have to mention like the Sutro people, Nicole and Sebastian, they are definitely like key people in like the underground music scene in SF, and they put in a lot of effort to build like what's important. They do a lot to like really foster creatives and like give them a place to do their thing basically. I've played quite a few like festivals this summer that I think are all very incredible. Like I just came back from Chillits. They've been doing it for 26 years, which is so crazy. It's like a fully ambient music festival, and you can just tell like the thoughtfulness that goes into the event is you know, just really shows like the care. I also played like a smaller renegade called Broom and Board, and that was truly just like a group of friends like putting together an event and doing something that they care about, and the level of production and everything was just so good. There really is just so much happening in the Bay that's like really impressive. I think I get inspired like all of the time, so yeah. When it comes to more clubby, dancey sets, I'm truly only thinking about one thing, which is dancing. And I know that sounds kind of like rudimentary, but I think it's overlooked a lot of the times. There's like a groove that is like necessary to like even just make you feel like you want to move, and I listen for that like all of the time when I'm looking for music. The other thing is I have found that I go through phases with songs, and there will be a moment in time where like something just hits for me, and I'm sure we have all experienced this, like just like looking through our USBs. Like there will be a song that I just like never made sense to me for maybe like years, and then suddenly I'll happen upon it and play it, and I'm like, wait, yes, like this makes sense now. And I think that just speaks to how we connect with like music, because it's not permanent, it's like temporary. Like yes, we can have favorite songs, but even that's for me like a phase. Like it can be a really long phase, but things go in and out. So I always look for that feeling, and it's the same for when I am looking for like ambient music and experimental music, because if anything, like that's even more of a feeling, because you just need to like listen to it, and if you feel something, I don't even know what it is really, but if I feel the thing, then I'm like, okay, like this is something that I can see working. I'm a big Sade fan, so I think in any moment of honestly anything, like her music grounds me. I will always turn to it probably in all situations. So today I'm playing a ambient, sort of very chill set, very introspective, a little bit abstract. Yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy it. For ADP.FM.